So I have to start this video by saying that I made a mistake. If you haven't watched it, I made a video a while back on my top 5 tips for how to rank up, which didn't focus on mechanics, and if you haven't checked it out, the video link will be above. But you really should check it out. However, I did leave out a key tip that honestly breaks the top 5 tips if you aren't doing it already, and leaving it out is honestly a crime on my behalf. But before we get into the video though, if you are looking for more Valorant content in the future, including watching my climb to Ascendant, which is going to happen folks, I promise you that, then you better hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to stay up to date. And if you find this video helps you out, or this has taught you something, why not slap a like too? Anyway, the tip that will actually help you rank up is to be more conscious or self-aware of your gameplay. I know, right? This is real simple, but this is something that is really holding back a lot of people. Let me explain. I understand how easy it is to come home from school, college, uni or work, sit yourself down, load up Valorant, hit the ranked queues and start playing. You've had a long day, so you really aren't paying that much attention and you're kind of just there playing. You are going with the flow, following what the team are doing. You're probably just rinsing and repeating the same few things at the beginning of every round, like flash here, run here, check this point, get spiked down, sit in this corner, and then it's the end of the round and you do the same thing next time. If this is you, you are autopiloting. Autopiloting is simply the act of doing a task with little to no thought behind it, normally because you have done that task a number of times. Now, autopiloting in our day-to-day lives is great. Hell, we probably do it more than we even think. You know, like getting out of bed, showering, brushing your teeth, making breakfast. Hell, I even sometimes autopilot whilst driving. But this is not a good thing when it comes to something that you want to improve on or in a task where you are trying to perform to a high level or the best of your ability. Now, in some of your matches where you are autopiloting, your raw mechanics and the team comp might let you win the games, so it could potentially reinforce into your mind that it's not actually that bad of a thing. But not being aware of what you are doing, why you are doing it, how you are doing it, is the number one way to stagnate or even decline at any performance-based task. And Valorant is no different. If you're playing the game without thinking, why am I peeking this? Why am I pushing here? What do the enemies normally do? Is this attack working for us? You are holding yourself back. In fact, almost every single tip that I gave in that video, and every YouTuber or content creator that will give you tips for ranking up, requires you to not be autopiloting. How do you know if you are dry peeking mid if your brain is basically switched off? How do you know if you're correctly using util if you are just senselessly throwing a recon dart at the same wall at the beginning of every round? So I hear what you're saying. Maybe autopiloting is my default mindset, but how do I switch it up? Well, firstly, I think a lot of people autopilot when they don't have the energy to focus in game. And that's not a bad thing either. But if you want to rank up, I would recommend not playing ranked when you're in this mindset. You got to take a look at yourself before you jump in and say, am I up for this? Or maybe am I too tired to be playing ranked? If you are too tired, that's fine. Play some unrated or TDM or one of the other great game modes. Have some fun and decompress from a long day. But if you are awake, alert and ready, the best way to make yourself more aware is to ask yourself questions. And the one that I find the best to ask is why. Everything you do in the game must have a legitimate reason. If you are doing something just because, there's a chance that it's probably the wrong thing to do. So when you're about to push somewhere, take a gunfight, or use some utility, ask yourself why. I feel like the tip that I gave about using utility correctly and effectively perfectly encapsulates this. Too many players throw the same bit of util at the beginning of each round, every round, and a lot of the time it is a waste. We've all had that Sova or Omen who throws a recon dart or a smoke straight onto site at the beginning of round of each and every round. And when it takes your team 10 to maybe 15 seconds to get onto the site, that smoke is gone, the recon is gone, any information it gathered is also probably now incorrect, and the effect has just been wasted. Instead, ask why. Why would I recon dart so early? Maybe to make a fake, or maybe to find out if they're stacking this site. And is that the best use? Probably not. Asking questions about what you are doing will allow you to compare and learn off each round, learning what works for yourself, learning what your team is doing, and learning what the enemies are doing. With this information, you can either use it to win more rounds in that specific game, or take it away to adapt in your own gameplay. Maybe you saw an enemy who mains the same agent as you and they were using their utility in a certain way or positioning themselves in a certain way. If you're autopiloting, you probably aren't recognizing this is happening, but you might be able to adapt this into your own gameplay or take it and learn it for yourself. Same with your own gameplay. Maybe you start to realize that you are getting very little headshots. Why is this? Is your crosshair hitting bodies a lot? Are you whiffing shots? Are the targets moving too much, making it a difficult target for you to shoot? Again, if you are autopiloting, these are things you're probably not noticing. You're probably dying and then loading up TikTok and watching a video until you spawn next round. Once you start to become more aware of the game you are playing and what you are doing, how others are doing it and how the enemies are, it will allow you to learn, adapt and improve. It also provides you with what is known as game sense, as game sense is built from understanding the game a whole lot more than just shooting, using util, killing, winning game. Being more aware in your games allows you to learn what enemies tend to do on certain maps, in certain situations, and allows you to read the game a lot better than what you would have done if you're just autopiloting every round. This will also allow you to be a little bit more open to advice and actually take on and adapt your play to any advice you hear or are directly given. Now, I appreciate that to some of you this idea might be so simple and it seems stupid, but it really should be talked about as a fundamental when trying to improve at Valorant. And without talking about this first, any other advice given tends to be really missed. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Are you guilty of autopiloting in games? I know I have been, so let me know in the comments if you have been. And if you are starting to change things up and trying to be a little bit more aware, tell me how things are going. I hope you started to see some improvements and hopefully even got some ranks up. But anyway, if you've got this far, I appreciate you watching the video. I hope you have a good rest of your day and see you in the next one.